You're gonna go against my husband taking his life. Let's talk about mental health and mental illness and things like that. But I thought it was odd. Why are you shooting at the big dog? But as they say, you shoot at the king and you miss. Well, they shot at the queen and they missed, and I lit them up.
They're doing it. You feel like Tony Hinchcliffe went too far when he made that joke about George Floyd?
It's Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
I don't expect less. I don't expect more.
I was doing sketches that were funny, but socially irresponsible.
Y'all, that Kevin Hart roast turned into a complete humiliation ritual. And now, Dave Chappelle is reportedly upset with Kevin for backing some of those white comedians. And it's not only because of that George Floyd joke. Sources close to Dave claim the biggest reason he's coming after Kevin is because of what happened to Sheryl Underwood. So, here's a breakdown of everything that happened. Kevin Hart is facing major backlash right now for letting some really questionable jokes make it through during his Netflix roast. First, Tony Hinchcliffe targeted Sheryl Underwood and joked about her late husband, who died by suicide in 1990 after struggling with depression.
Hold up, let me talk. Her husband committed suicide 3 years into their marriage. I've been sitting next to her for 2 hours and I have to ask, how did he last that long?
Then, Hinchcliffe also made a joke about George Floyd. And apparently, Kevin found it absolutely hilarious.
You've done good though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you right now. George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe. God bless you, Kevin.
As for Shane Gillis, he cracked a joke about lynching. And once again, Kevin was all for it.
I'm going to be up here saying a lot of just terrible things tonight. But, yeah, you guys like that? But not me. I'm not going to be doing that. I've got a nice PG short joke that I'd like you guys to be a part of, okay? Kevin is so short. Kevin's so short that they're going to have to lynch him from a bonsai tree.
Now, when it comes to Cheryl Underwood, she's handled the whole situation with a lot of grace. She told ET that she wasn't offended, but at the same time she admitted it was strange that Tony Hinchcliffe decided to make that joke.
I'm gonna go against my husband taking his life. Let's talk about mental health and mental illness and things like that. But I thought it was odd. Why are you shooting at the big dog? But as they say, you shoot at the king and you miss. Well, they shot at the queen and they missed, and I lit them up.
But the real backlash is aimed at Kevin Hart. People are accusing him of being a sellout because he was both the headliner and one of the producers of the roast. And the criticism is that he allowed jokes about two of the most painful chapters in Black American history to air under his watch and on his platform. And honestly, the biggest issue is that those jokes weren't even funny. If you're going to lean into dark humor, that's one thing, but it still has to be funny. Throwing out shocking lines just for the reaction isn't comedy. By the way, before the roast even took place, Michael Che dropped out of the event, and he later revealed that the roast's writing room was made up mostly of white guys. And once again, this was Kevin's production. But then Kevin made things even worse when he appeared on The Breakfast Club and defended Tony Hinchcliffe.
George Floyd joke, it wasn't a tasteful joke to our culture, to our audience, but our audience that's watching the roast, if you're watching the roast, you get why they're doing it. You get why the racial humor is on the table. Like, it's not, I wasn't shocked. Tony told a joke. It wasn't a tasteful joke to us. We didn't like it. Okay. Hey, man, that joke. We move on. I don't understand why we stand on a hill and it becomes like this.
Kevin also ended up contradicting himself several times during that interview. One moment he's boasting, it's our production, like he's running the whole thing. Then just seconds later, he's acting as if his hand were tied and there was nothing he could do about the jokes.
I don't get affected by the attempt of humor. I get it, right? In this case, like, do more. It's my production. That's a different conversation. It's nothing I can do. It's a production. It's a live production. I'm not compromising the live production for a reaction of what? What do you want me to do? I'm gonna drag him off? You want me to fight afterwards? You want me to turn it into, like, what? That's not what I agreed to do. That's not the job at hand.
By the way, remember when Kevin was accused of being homophobic after some of his old tweets resurfaced? This happened in 2019, not long after he was announced as the Oscars host. And what did Kevin do? He immediately apologized and stepped down from hosting the Oscars. But even that wasn't enough. He then appeared on just about every talk show you could think of, apologizing over and over again, practically on his knees asking the LGBTQ community to forgive him.
I'm a little upset because I know who I am. I know I don't have a homophobic bone in my body. I know that I've addressed it. I know that I've apologized. I don't want to step on that stage and make that night about me and my past.
So those tweets were considered unacceptable. But jokes about George Floyd's death? Apparently that's completely acceptable in Kevin's eyes. He says everyone should just move on and stop turning it into such a big issue. And yes, I know he didn't make those jokes himself, but it was his roast. He literally produced the entire thing. And now several black comedians are calling Kevin out, especially Dave Chappelle. Dave left for Africa to get away from his handlers. And when he eventually came back, he appeared on The Oprah Show and revealed that his bosses at Comedy Central wanted him to perform socially irresponsible jokes, meaning his material. And Dave quickly realized that even though those jokes were funny, the white audience wasn't laughing with him. They were laughing at him.
I was doing sketches that were funny, but socially irresponsible. Like there's this one sketch we did that was about this pixie that would appear whenever things happen. Whenever someone make you feel like they calling you that N-word, but don't say it. But the pixie was in blackface because this was going to be the visual personification of the N-word. But what I didn't consider is the way people use television is subjective. So then when I'm on the set and we're finally taping the sketch, somebody on the set that was white laughed in such a way, and was the first time I'd ever gotten a laugh that I was uncomfortable with.
So here's the difference. Dave Chappelle was offered a huge payday to perform stereotypes for a white audience laughing at him, and he turned it down. Kevin Hart produced an entire show where that exact dynamic played out, and he went right along with it. Now, there's plenty that can be said about Dave Chappelle today. Some people would even argue he's no better than Kevin Hart now. Remember that whole Riyadh Comedy Festival situation? Honestly, it doesn't seem like this is the same man who walked away from 50 million pounds and then sat down with Oprah exposing how the industry really operates. But that's a conversation for another video. I want to get back to Kevin because Dave wasn't the only one who tried to warn us. A lot of people are also bringing up what Cat Williams said about Kevin during his Club Shay Shay interview. Remember that? Cat called Kevin an industry plant and claimed he was personally chosen by the higher-ups because he was willing to do whatever they wanted him to do. So here's what Cat was really trying to say. It wasn't just random beef or jealousy from another comedian. His point was that Kevin reached the top for a very particular reason, not only because he's funny or worked hard, but because his mindset is exactly what the industry gatekeepers are looking for. They don't promote people who make them uncomfortable. Think about it. Jokes about historical black trauma are fair game, but would Kevin go along if someone joked about the historical trauma of another group of people? You know exactly what I'm talking about. If we're going to be edgy, then nothing should be off limits, right? But clearly, some topics are still completely off limits in Hollywood, and Kevin knows that. That's why they pushed him to the top. They choose the people who'll take the check, smile, stay in line, and never bite the hand that feeds them. And Kevin, whether he realizes it or not, fits that mold perfectly. When the Oscars controversy happened, he apologized in under 24 hours and then appeared on every talk show talking about how much he loves and respects the queer community. And Kevin was forgiven. He did exactly what they wanted and proved his obedience. Now, compare that to someone like Dave Chappelle walking away from 50 million pounds. That's the complete opposite energy. That's showing the higher-ups they can't control you. And what happened? They called him crazy and dragged his name through the mud. And yeah, Dave has changed a lot since then, but this only proves Cat Williams' point. The system isn't broken. It's operating exactly the way they designed it to. So that roast wasn't an accident. It wasn't Kevin getting blindsided. Kevin knows exactly what he's doing and knows who signs his checks. But I want to circle back to Sheryl Underwood because this is what matters most. Sheryl walked into Kevin's roast fully aware she was about to be dragged through the mud. And baby, she completely flipped the script. After those white comedians made ruthless jokes about her late husband, she got on stage and delivered the only set of the night that had the entire crowd on its feet, giving her a standing ovation.
Tony, you think you hurt my feelings by talking about my dead husband? My husband only died once. You die every night with them whack-ass jokes you be telling. You may talk about me, but I know your kind. You want to hit this black harder than you hit the windows of the Capitol on January 6th.
They really went after Cheryl thinking she was an easy target, but she reminded everyone exactly why she's lasted in this industry for decades. But now I want to hear your thoughts on all this, especially how you feel about Kevin Hart defending all of those jokes. Are you one of the people who thinks it's not that serious, or did this roast once again confirm how the entertainment industry really operates and who's pulling the strings? Drop all your comments below, and stay tuned for the next video.